You're listening to All Kinds of Catholic with me, Teresa Alessandro. My conversations with different Catholics will give you glimpses into some of the ways we're living our faith today. Pope Leo, quoting St. Augustine, reminds us, "Let us live well, and the times will be good. We are the times." I hope you'll feel encouraged and affirmed, and sometimes challenged, as I am in these conversations. Join our podcast community, get news and background information about the conversations, and share your thoughts if you want to. You can get the newsletter and each episode straight to your inbox by going to allkindsofcatholic.substack.com and clicking on subscribe. It's free. That web address is in the episode notes too, and I'd love you to draw closer to our community. Thank you. As promised, listeners, this is an episode brought to you with voices from the We Believe Festival last weekend. I was out and about with the recorder, inviting people to say a few words about what drew them to attend the festival this year, or what they were getting from being there, what supports their faith back at home. This is actually the first of 2 episodes. Today's episode, voices are lined up kind of in chronological order over the weekend. And maybe some of these thoughts will remind you of different Catholic festivals or conferences that you've been to over the years. But on the 19th of August, there'll be a second episode, which is a more focused conversation and also a glimpse into the mini St. Francis pilgrimage that took place. So let's get into this episode. And first, we're in the cafe. So Caroline, thank you for taking a moment to talk. So you haven't been to We Believe before. This is your first time. And I understand you had some train drama on the way here.
Yeah, nothing ever easy when you're getting to events like this, but it all worked out fine in the end.
Just tell us a bit about, obviously it's early in the festival at the moment, but what made you come? What made you make the trip here?
Well, for me, I heard such good things about last year from friends who were here. And so when I saw that it was on again, I really wanted to make sure that I made it this time. I think it's a lovely opportunity to spend time around other intentional Catholics. It gives us all such an uplift and a boost. And it's been a joy to see all the families enjoying themselves and to see so many priests, clergy, religious out and about as well so far. And look forward to all the events and talks and liturgies to come.
Now, you mentioned intentional Catholics there, and that's piqued my interest. Tell me what you mean by that then.
Those who are pursuing the path to holiness in an active way and dealing with the very secular post-Christian society we now live and work and function in.
Tell us a bit about, when you're not here at the festival, what are the things that support your faith generally back in your home community?
Well, I'm a consecrated virgin, so I have a network of support through my vocation. I also work in a parish as a staff catechist, and the volunteers who support me in that work. And I have many lifelong friends who are also very intentional in their approach to the faith. That's a great way to sustain my faith, along with obviously my rule of life and my prayer and my spiritual life.
Yes, yeah. Etienne, thank you for taking a moment to talk. So you and your family seem to have come from France for the festival, is that right?
Yes, indeed, that's right. We come from France. So we just arrived yesterday. Basically, my daughter Jeanne was here for 2 weeks because she was in a family learning English. And the boys, Arthur and Théophane, they went by bike. They traveled from Tours, and
wow,
it's six days cycling to come here.
Wow, that is very impressive. Oh my goodness, I hope you're getting enough to eat now to make up the calories you've burned.
Yeah, well, we're fine here. It's really fantastic to be with you. Basically, we have a friend who told us about the festival 1 year ago, and when I knew that Jeanne would come to England, I thought that we could go there as a family to enjoy the festival for a few days. And the boys could come by bike because it's kind of an experience. And then we would, in family, come back with the car. So That's what we did.
So are you camping over the weekend?
Yeah. We're camping. We love camping anyway.
Okay. So you must be active Catholics at home then to have made the trip for a Catholic festival?
Yes, we are, yeah.
And what does that look like? What kind of things support your faith at home in France?
Well, I am engaged in the parish, so I'm, I don't know how you say that in English, but I'm helping the priest in practically opening the church. So yeah, every week I'm there in the church helping. And the boys are in in a boarding school. It's also managed by some priests.
Right.
So yeah, we're basically Christian from our birth.
Yeah. So you're living your faith.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful. And what are you looking forward to now that you're here? What is it that really drew you, that you were thinking we must be there for that?
First of all, it's kind of surprising to us to see such a big community of Catholic in Great Britain, because we were not aware that could be so big, so impressive. It's also a learning experiment for us to also discover new ways of expressing our faith and meeting with new peoples, and it's a cross-cultural experience as well.
Absolutely, it is. And were you at Mass last night in the big top?
Yeah, well, it's not easy to follow everything because, the words during the Mass are quite different from the one you employ every day. So
Yes.
But it was fun, but also very insightful from a faith point of view. And yeah, we could see some kind of community that is very united. And that was also interesting to see. I think it's been mentioned, but the diversity of the church was expressed in this St. Peter's tent. That was also quite striking to see that we all can be together, and despite all differences that we apparently have, we have a solid and unified foundation, I think.
Exactly, yeah. I think there's something wonderful. I was here last year too. There's something wonderful about seeing so many priests and religious and our bishops and so many Catholic people who are taking their faith seriously all together, like you say. So I'm really pleased that you've seen that from France also. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Etienne, for being brave to speak.
Thank you.
Listeners, next I approached Pippa, who was outside in the sunshine at a picnic table with her family. So Pippa, thank you for taking a moment.
That's okay.
So you were saying before we pressed record that you came last year to have a little look at the festival. And what made you come back again this year?
It was just a very enjoyable weekend last year, and we saw lots of people that we knew, and it felt like a big reunion of Catholic families and people we've known at various churches around the country, and it was just a great atmosphere. We also really enjoyed the mixture of styles of worship. We felt like it was very coherent and very friendly, and we've got friends of ours from Latin Mass who were there singing along to songs they knew from Youth 2000. So it was just a very friendly environment that we really want our young children to experience.
I think that's what I'm seeing too. Everybody comes together from all sorts of parts of the church. It's lovely. You mentioned that you have some sort of plan for today, although obviously with small people,
yes,
we don't know how that might work out. But what sort of things are you hoping to do?
We're doing a bit of parental tag teaming.
Right.
So we're going to try and take our boys as many of the family events as possible in the family tent.
Yes.
And then whoever's not doing the family tent will be off in other talks. Right. So I think I might go to, there's a creativity and vocation one, and can't remember what my husband's doing. I'm just letting him do his thing.
And what about where you've come from? What is it that supports your faith back at home?
We don't live far from Birmingham. We're in the Midlands. We actually travel to Birmingham fairly regularly to come to Mass at the Oratory, and we've got a big network of families that we know through the Oratory in addition to families in our local parish. Yeah. And we used to live in London, so we've got lots of Catholic friends all over the country, and we've got family who live in Walsingham. So
you're lucky.
So we tend to see lots of people we know, and it's a lovely big community. So that's kind of what keeps us connected to the lots of different types of Catholic life that you might find here. Yeah,
so you can feel yourself part of a much bigger community of people. Whereas for some in parishes, they can feel like the Catholic community is shrinking, but you actually have a sense of a much bigger community that you're part of, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think when you're close to a big city but not in the city, it's nice to be able to dip in and out of bigger initiatives. Just the online world being as it is, I think lots of people feel very connected. Well, we actually got ourselves really involved in lots of stuff over lockdown. I think as a lot of people did, that was a big spiritual journey for us, because we were sort of living a semi-religious life.
Yes.
That was a lot of our discernment towards creating our family. So we adopted our first child. That was part of our discernment time, and we met lots of other adoptive families at the time.
Thank you so much, Pippa. That's beautiful.
Listeners, it was very hot. I went back into the cafe for our next conversation.
Thanks for taking a moment, Lauren, in the cafe here. to talk about why you're here at We Believe. I understand you came last year as well.
Yes.
And what drew you back this year?
So I am a presenter this year, but also too, I absolutely loved the festival last year. Came into it, I think like everybody last year, not knowing what to expect, and got so much out of it. And so I was really excited to be asked back to come again to present, but also I would have come anyway because it's an absolutely amazing festival.
So tell us about what you're presenting then.
Yeah, so Joanna Bogle and I will be doing a presentation on British saints. And we're going to do a little bit of a twist. We're going to talk about the quirky legends around some of the British saints, old and more recent new.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. Have you had to look up British saints? I'm just noticing you have an American accent.
Yes. Yes, I have an American accent. Been living in London for the last 4 years. My obsession with English history started a long time ago. And then once I converted to Catholicism over 10 years ago, then I started adding Catholic history into everything because I love history in general. Once moving here and seeing all of the places that are still here, that can still be found, diving into the Catholic English history, that's what I do, as I just want to share the word and what all is still here for anybody who's coming to visit, people who live, maybe that don't even know what's right around the corner from them, and sharing that with people and the stories of the people that were there.
Fantastic. And when you're not at the festival, what are the sorts of things that support your faith? Obviously, there's a lot there about just knowing about the history and being able to look back to examples from times past, but what are the practices that support your faith?
Well, so I do Catholic history tours and around London and out of London. So going into the different churches, yesterday I went to the presentation by Father Lawrence around the entering heaven on earth. And it talks about, the churches and basically it being the heaven on earth. And that's what I love to do. And that's what kind of keeps me going, is experiencing what's the next chapel or what's the next church that I can uncover and discover. Even sometimes in this country, if it's Anglican, going in and saying, okay, I'm going to find the Catholic root here. I'm going to find the piece that they weren't able to destroy, that's still there, and kind of searching that out as well and finding that beauty there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lauren. For listeners, there'll be a link in the episode notes so you can follow some of Lauren's interests and work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listeners, I won't keep saying it, but there will be lots of links in the episode notes this time because there's so much you might want to follow up on.
So Cameron, thanks for taking a moment to talk. So you were saying you haven't been to We Believe before. You weren't here last year. And what made you come this year?
Well, I am here with the SVP, which is the St. Vincent de Paul Society. So I was invited with the SVP. So I'm very lucky to have been invited and I'm very happy to be here, definitely.
So you're a volunteer with the SVP, are you?
I am, yes.
Oh, wonderful. And what sort of service do you do then as part of that volunteering?
Well, the SVP have a very broad mission, but we're mainly just focusing on helping people in need and just spreading the good word of Jesus and living as how we should as Catholics, I believe. I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to come to this. I went to a big church festival a couple years ago. Also, I've been on pilgrimage to Paris with the SVP, all in the hope of helping people and helping those in need. So that's what we do.
That's wonderful to hear about, Cameron. Thank you. And you've driven from Essex to be here.
I have.
Quite a long journey.
Yeah, lots of traffic on the M25, but it's all good.
How are you finding it? Is it what you thought, or is it different from what you thought?
I honestly had no idea what to expect. It's very different to a big church festival. I don't know if you've heard of Big Church Festival, but that's very Christian, whereas this is definitely more Catholic-centred. And I, as a Catholic, like that. There's a lot of talks about different ways of thinking and different parts of the Catholic faith, which I'm really enjoying. I didn't really know what to expect, but it's exceeded my expectations and I'm having a great time, that's for sure.
Thank you. And I know we're just holding you up from going to a talk. And what's the talk? What is it that's drawn your interest?
The talk I'm about to go to is how can AI serve the church?
Ah.
With the surge of AI, I thought that's quite an interesting topic and I'm intrigued to see what they say.
Well, let us not keep you any longer then, Cameron. Thank you so much for spending a minute or two talking to us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Listeners, the Quad is a really lively outdoor space where Radio Maria broadcasts from. There's a stage there and talks and music. And that's the space where I gathered the next couple of contributions to our episode.
So Lydia, thank you for taking a minute to speak about your experience of We Believe. Were you here last year?
Yes, so we came last year. So John, who is running this whole thing,
Yes.
we've known for quite a while through Youth 2000. It's just a brilliant place to be. I just enjoy how everyone's coming together from all walks of life, and you're able to see just the beauty of our faith in lots of different aspects. It's very different to a retreat in that sense, but you still feel like you're retreating from the difficulties of daily life sometimes. So you kind of feel like you've got the best of everything really here.
Lots of guests have talked about Youth 2000. So for listeners who don't know, just give us a tiny summary of what Youth 2000 is.
So Youth 2000 is a charity that specifically offer retreats and all sorts of other things for young people. So I know that Youth 2000 was kind of the way that I came back to my faith. So I was brought up Catholic but didn't really live it out fully. When I was a teenager, I was invited to a Youth 2000 retreat when I was 20 and came on my own, didn't know anyone, and it was really just the start of the reigniting of my faith, really. I really experienced how friendly everybody was, everyone was so welcoming, it was a fantastic community, but also a really good way to grow in faith and learn lots about the Catholic faith that I didn't really have growing up. It's a very special charity and organisation to me, and I'm sure to many others as well.
Thank you, that's really helpful. For people who didn't know about it, that's really helpful. And some listeners may actually have come through to living their faith through the same channel.
Absolutely.
Because I know there are lots of people that speak to me about Youth 2000, so it's been a really positive thing for the church. And what is it about We Believe that you're most looking forward to this weekend? What are the things that really lift your spirit?
All sorts of types of music. I'm a musician myself, and I enjoy music of all different kinds, really. So I enjoy a lot of praise and worship. That was really kind of the main way that I came back to my faith, was through worship music and recognising that God had given me that gift for a specific purpose. So really good to hear lots of different people playing praise and worship this weekend, but also enjoying some of the sacred music that I also enjoy singing myself, but don't always get to listen to actually myself. So yeah, that's a highlight for me when I'm here.
Okay, certainly there is lots of music going on here. And then one last little thing, are you camping?
Oh, that's a really good question actually. So this year we are not camping. Last year we did camp. But I would actually say to people who maybe were considering coming and considering camping that actually it's a good way to have a go at camping, because you're in a really safe place, you've got your amenities very close by.
Yeah.
So try it, you might enjoy it.
And there's lots of people to talk to and help you through it.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks ever so much, Lydia. Thank you for making some time to talk. Carlos, thank you for taking a moment to talk. Is this your first time at We Believe?
No, this is actually my second time.
So you liked it so much you came again?
Yes.
And what is it that you find supports your faith here?
The first word that comes to mind is richness. The richness of the Catholic faith, of how so many people come together, and just there's so many different types of people, ways of living the faith, that it just, firstly I have to say due respect to the people who organised it, because they've done such a wonderful job that we can see how others live their faith and how we can inspire each other to live and walk together in this faith. Because I've always been taught that, yes, we are in the faith, but we still have to keep walking towards sanctity and to be able to walk and to reach where we want to be, which is with Jesus.
Yeah, we're not there already. You need to keep going.
Keep walking, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Carlos. And is there anything in particular that you really like here? Do you like the talks? Do you like the liturgy? Meeting other people? Is there something in particular that really speaks to you?
There are very interesting talks, which is where I mostly come, because what I like about We Believe is that it's a time that I can actually dedicate to just listen. Sometimes at home, I may be too busy with work or anything, but I can at least set a date. The same thing with retreats, I can set a date. This is a time to focus, to learn, and to progress.
Yeah. Bit of time to spend on your relationship with our Lord.
Definitely.
Thank you, Carlos. And Ariane, thank you for spending a moment. You're together with Carlos here at We Believe. What is it that you like about it?
I really like how to see many communities united. We are under the same church, and how everyone is working together in unity to bring the same faith to everyone. And how religious and lay people are together here, and so many families. It's beautiful to see it.
It is. I think it's very encouraging, isn't it? We can really see that the church is alive.
Yes.
When we see so many people together.
Yes, yeah. That's true.
When you're at home, what is it that supports your faith there? How do you stay strong in your faith when you're not here with all these Catholic people around you?
I think it's very important to be in part of a community, because it will help you on your faith and walking. We are all brothers and sisters, and we can pray for each other. going to Mass and getting the richness from our church.
Thank you, Ariane. You made a full circle there. He started with richness, you came back to richness.
Amazing.
We complement each other.
You certainly do. You certainly do. The Syro-Malabar Catholic community, originally from Kerala in India, brings some of their traditions to the We Believe Festival. After I left the quad, there was a beautiful display of a particular style of dance which has a message of faith. And I caught up with Angela afterwards, who told me about it. She was kind of put forward as the spokesperson on behalf of the group. So, Angela, thank you for taking a minute to talk about the Syro-Malabar community and your dancing that you've just been doing in the quad here at We Believe. Tell us a bit about your community then and how important the dancing is to you.
We are the SMYM Stoke team and we performed a dance called the Markankali, and it's basically a traditional folk dance from the Indian state of Kerala, and it's performed mainly by women from the Syrian Christian community. And basically on our costumes we wear this necklace. It has like a picture of like Jesus and Mary, and it shows how we're performing this dance through them. We have them in our hearts whilst we perform this dance.
So it's prayerful.
Yes.
I'm guessing it takes some time to practice together.
Mm-hmm.
And is there one way of doing the dance? Are there lots of different dances?
In the dance, it can be as short to as long as 10 minutes. We've done dances with 10 minutes before. So there's different sections and we call them padams. So you can interchange the padams. You could choose which padams you want to do.
So you practice together. Do you know each other very well then in your group?
Yeah. We all live in Stoke. We're the team from Stoke-on-Trent.
You've come to We Believe from Stoke together, okay,
Indeed.
and with the support of your families. And so do you worship together at the weekends on Sundays?
Yes, on Sundays we come together and have this mass called Holy Qurbana. It's the Syrian version. You're going to experience it today, we believe, I've heard, so...
Yeah, there is an opportunity at We Believe for people to go to that Syrian Mass if they haven't before. So that's a really lovely opportunity for people, isn't it? Are you feeling better now that you've done your performance?
Yeah, we were a bit nervous because we didn't want to mess up, but overall it was a fun time because we've done this for competitions, so we always feel really nervous beforehand. So today, because it wasn't a competition, it was a bit more chill out, so we had more fun today.
Thank you so much, Angela, for taking a minute to speak.
No problem.
That's been really lovely. I hope this episode, listeners, is giving you a flavour of the We Believe Festival and maybe other festivals you've been to as well. At this festival of Catholic life, I think there were something like 2,700 people there over the weekend. It was pretty busy, and I caught up with Leela, for whom, like many of us, a really busy atmosphere can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. We had a really interesting conversation about how she was managing those things for herself and for her family. And we were back in the cafe. Leela, thank you for coming over to see what's going on at the All Kinds of Catholic podcast stall. And we were just talking and you were sharing that you're someone who's neurodivergent. And I just thought for listeners it might be really interesting to hear how you're managing that with your family as well. At the festival, I was just saying I can find it a bit overwhelming here with so much going on, so many people everywhere. How are you finding it?
Well, thank you. It's lovely to meet you. So yeah, my name's Leela. I'm mum of 4 neurodivergent children and I'm neurodivergent myself. I had a bit of a battle to get the 2 teen girls to come and my youngest. I have to say, it's actually been not as bad as I thought bringing my neurodivergent children.
Okay.
And I think it's because you can dip in and dip out. It's very much about you participating as much as you can. But I think the site lends itself to neurodivergence because you can take yourself away to the chapel for adoration. My eldest daughter was a bit, and we turned up and she went, "Oh, it's like Hogwarts for God."
That's great.
I actually found them in the chapel at adoration and they sat there quietly for an hour. Now, they may have been decompressing because this is the first time they've ever camped.
Right.
So this is a big weekend for us. They enjoyed Mass. Our church is quite traditional, so a bit of worship music threw them a bit, but they engaged. Finding them in the chapel for an hour, they were like, "Mummy, it's really peaceful and quiet." And I was like, well, this is why I come here. And I've showed them round the college, the quad where there was a bit of rock music. There are places and areas where you can just go. They are here now having their hot chocolate and croissant, but going back to the tent and just kind of emerging. They've found themselves going for a walk in the woods. And so, no, I was nervous. They were nervous. But it's been actually all in all really, really good. Bringing them closer to the Lord bringing them closer to God. I couldn't have asked for more, and I found it quite emotional when I couldn't find them. And they were in the big tent, and some of the choir were practicing. And they were like, it's just really lovely. Maybe 1 or 2 people were sat in there. So for me, feeling quite worried about their faith journey because of everything that's happened in their lives recently, it's been absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
So
thank you, Leela.
That's all I can say.
I'm so glad you came over to speak. That's a really wonderful thing to hear. People will be really delighted to hear that, and maybe people will feel inspired to bring their families next year.
There's something for everyone. Teens, little ones, and I would say to anyone who's got children who are autistic, ADHD, or a whole spectrum of neurodivergence, give it a go. No, it's been brilliant.
Wonderful. Thank you, Leela. And finally, listeners, a really important contribution from one of the volunteers, big team of people who make everything work at the festival. And I'm afraid I did interrupt James's coffee break just to invite him to tell us something of his experience this weekend.
Hello, James, a volunteer here at We Believe. Thanks for taking a minute to talk. So you didn't volunteer last year, you've just come this year. And
yeah, that's
how
right.
are you finding it?
Oh, I've had a great time so far. It's a really bright and cheery atmosphere, and it's great to be here working for people.
And you're on the site team, so
That's right.
Tell us about some of the duties that you have while you're here then.
I get 1 or 2 shifts a day. Basically, during those shifts, I'm a runner. So I basically have to wait on beck and call and listening to the radio channels. If anybody wants or needs someone from site team, I'll get the call and I'll have to run straight there.
I was a volunteer last year, and I think it's really lovely to think about this network of volunteers who are ready to help all the people who are here at the festival who obviously don't know their way around, can't find things, might trip over something, lost children, all sorts of things that might happen. It's wonderful to think there are people here making sure everything runs smoothly.
Indeed, yeah.
Have you had time to go to any of the talks? I bet you've been to Mass.
Yes, I've been to masses and quite a few of the talks. Plenty of time still to go to talks.
And what stands out in your mind? What have you really appreciated?
Well, it's great to hear from all the different stripes of people within the Catholic community. I've heard so many different perspectives. It's not just priests who've given talks. I've heard talks from MPs even, so it's been wonderful.
Thank you very much, James.
It's all right.
At Mass on Saturday evening in the Big Top, St. Peter's, Bishop-elect Stephen Wang was preaching, and he spoke about the We Believe Festival not being just for ourselves who were there, but for all of us Catholics, and indeed all the people in the communities where we live. So I hope this episode has given you some sort of flavour of what We Believe was like, and I hope it's playing a small part in sharing the message of the truth, beauty and goodness of our faith more widely. Thank you so much to everybody who said yes when I approached them to see if they'd like to speak for the podcast episode. Do look out in a couple of weeks' time on Wednesday the 19th of August for the release of a second episode made at the We Believe Festival, which is a deeper conversation with some of the people there, and a glimpse into one of the small pilgrimages in the grounds which took place during the weekend. Thanks so much for joining me on All Kinds of Catholic this time. I hope today's conversation has resonated with you. A new episode is released each Wednesday, and you can follow All Kinds of Catholic on the usual podcast platforms. Rate and review to help others find it. You can also follow us on social media at Kinds of Catholic. And remember, if you connect with us on Substack, you can comment on episodes and share your thoughts and be part of the dialogue there. Until the next time.